What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today I want to talk about day 12 of the 2023 Chicago Bears training camp. And day 12 was a very long padded practice, over 2 hours for the Chicago Bears, and a lot of interesting stuff happened today, from injuries to big plays from offense and defense overall. So let's not waste any more time. As always, starting off with the injury update right away. Still out is Lucas Patrick, DeMarcus Walker, Dylan Cole, Tremaine Edmonds, Dante Pettis, Jaquan Brisker, and Terrell Smith all did not participate today. As for the guys that are new on the injury update, Terrell Lewis was not practicing today too, so defense really taking on a big hit, as well as Nate Davis. He was once again not practicing today. I feel like it's just being cautious with him because he practiced without the pads, so still taking it slowly, which is the right approach. Don't risk anything right here during the earlier weeks of training camp so far. And also tight end Mercedes Lewis did not participate in today's practice too. As for the players that had some issues during the practice, Tevin Jenkins left practice but came back later though, so he recovered and nothing too serious about him. But also other guys had to leave practice today. Alex Leatherwood left practice with a trainer, and then the biggest one probably, Chase Claypool, had to leave practice after one-on-ones came up limping and by reports grabbed his hamstring, so nothing great here about that. Really hope it's just something minor, but let's see what happens with that. If anything happens, I'm gonna keep you guys updated, but Chase Claypool would be a huge loss for the Chicago Bears, but right now it's looking like nothing too serious, and hopefully he keeps that way. And also EQ St. Brown, who got more reps today because of the absence of Chase Claypool, came up limping after a play as well. So Bears are suffering lots of minor injuries right now, but hopefully nothing too serious happens and comes out from Matt Eberflus, and let's see what happens with those players. As for guys that were actually back at practice, great news, Kyler Gordon was practicing once again. The new, now nicknamed Spider-Man, had another really good practice and is looking really good so far. So good seeing him back in pads for the Chicago Bears. As we now get into the practice for today, starting off with the offense, and overall a pretty good day with some minor issues that the Bears had that can't be overlooked, especially on the penalty side, right? But we'll get into those later on. As for one-on-ones real quick, one play that I wanted to talk about with you guys was a deep ball where Justin Fields connected with Darnell Mooney on a post, which is great to hear because Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields haven't connected a lot so far in training camp, or as far as training camp reports go, there's not a lot of people that write about them two guys. So I don't know how the situation really is, but today looked like a really strong day between Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney. So love hearing that, starting off with strong one-on-ones right there. As for team period 11 on 11s, that was really interesting for the Bears offense overall. The first session started off with a connection from Justin Fields with DJ Moore unleashing a deep ball and dropped it into the bucket, perfectly placed, and DJ Moore hauled it in. So overall, Justin Fields just unleashed the football today, threw a couple of darts down the field. Great to hear that from him. And then it continued kind of rough with the Bears offense with 2 false starts in 3 plays by both tackles, one by Braxton Jones and one by Darnell Wright. Those are issues that can happen right now, especially with an offensive line that's just changing constantly with a couple of injuries right now. So it's nothing to worry about right now, but that shouldn't carry into the season, so rather make those mistakes now than during the regular season games, right? And then Justin Fields shakes it off real quick, doesn't hesitate, and then connects with a good slant completion to DJ Moore once again. That connection is just so incredible, and through traffic that play too. So Justin Fields fitting it into a slimmer or tighter window, and DJ Moore coming up with it on a quick slant completion. Love slants. Everybody loves slants, right? And then the Bears finished off that drive with, surprising for me at least, Trestan Ebner with a 70-yard touchdown run. So for me last year, Trestan Ebner struggled a lot. He didn't look too good in the real regular season games, but right now he's putting up a pretty solid camp overall, and right there, 70-yard touchdown run, finishing that run, showing his speed. love it from Treston Ebner, so really happy for him right there. As for later, then there was a play where Justin Fields evades the incoming Rasheem Green into the backfield, so great seeing Green getting into the backfield fast, but Justin Fields evading him, rolling out, and then Cole Kmet adjusts nicely on the play, but Justin Fields doesn't throw it to him. He just pump fakes it a couple of times and made some yards by himself with his legs. I'm totally fine with that, just using it cautiously, his running ability, but still using it effectively with pump fakes and keeping the defense on their toes, not really deciding on going for him, always staying in coverage. So that's a great play right there, in my opinion, by Justin Fields. As for the second 11-on-11 period, Justin Fields starts off clean with a quick completion to Darnell Mooney on a curl route, just once again reestablishing that connection, finding him on a quick completion. Love that. And that was followed by another false start by the offensive line. So as I said, lots of turnover on the offensive line right now. That causes issues obviously here. So let's see if they can fix it over the next couple of days before playing actually in that preseason game. And later that drive, Justin Fields launched another deep ball to Darnell Mooney, this time rolling out to his right, found him on a deep crossing route, and Mooney came down with it for a touchdown. So once again, Justin Fields having a good mix between check down and unleashing the deep ball, going for chunk plays, and right there connected on a 30-yard touchdown by Mooney. Loved hearing that. And then later on in the third 11-on-11 phase, Justin Fields spread out the ball a couple of times, gets it out quick, starting off to tight end Steven Carlson, and then finished it off with another nice completion over the middle to EQ St. Brown, as the Bears moved then on to a 7-on-7 period where in the first portion Justin Fields went 4 for 5, finding DJ Moore, Kari Blessingame, the fullback, EQ St. Brown, and Roschon Johnson, and then in the second period looked pretty sharp again, 4 for 5, again to DJ Moore 2 times this time, and then twice to Nasimba Webster as well. So Justin Fields spreading the ball, finding his favorite target, DJ Moore, a couple of times, and being very accurate in that period. So really solid stuff there from QB1 Justin Fields, as they then opened up another 11-on-11 period where it started off with an incompletion to Darnell Mooney, and then he missed Cole Kmet afterwards as well, almost getting picked right there, Justin Fields, but the offense was not influenced by that, coming back strong with Justin Fields finding DJ Moore once again on a slant route, and then on the last play, Justin Fields gets out of the pocket, a pretty similar play like before too, considers Roschon Johnson, who's going downfield, and once again using his rushing ability as a threat and using it calculated, and then just pump faked a few times before taking off by himself for 10 to 15 yards. I personally absolutely love it. Just taking calculated risk with running by himself. I love it by Justin Fields. With that, it's not getting predictable that he's always running, and he's just using it a couple of times, but still being a dangerous thrower at the same time too. And then the Bears finished off practice with a 2-minute drill, which started off pretty bad with a sack, but then Justin Fields again unleashes it deep and completed it to DJ Moore, who, no surprise, comes down with it. So the chemistry seems to be really impressive with those two guys. And after that, Justin Fields found Khalil Herbert 3 times in a row for easy checkdowns after nothing by reports was coming open deeper. And then unfortunately the Bears couldn't finish the drive, unlike the last couple of days where they had really good periods in those 2-minute drills. They moved the ball but then stalled, and the defense did a good job on that one. So I mean, that's expected, right? The defense at some point should win the 2-minute drill too. So love seeing that from the D. And then some players that were mentioned throughout the day, specifically Tyler Scott had a better day catching the football today. He was targeted heavily by PJ Walker on the second string team, so love it from the rookie. Kari Blessingame was mentioned today a few times too with some catches. So love the fullback getting some love today by the reporters. And then also Roschon Johnson took some reps with the first team today instead of Deontay Foreman. So that's some big news, right? Roschon Johnson slowly working himself up in the depth chart. And then for the offensive line, even though there were mistakes made today, Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright looked really solid by reports, almost allowing nothing the whole entire day. So love that report that was coming out from the offensive line or about the offensive line. As for the defense, real quick too, in one-on-ones, really solid performance by the DBs today, especially by Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson, locking down players and making big plays in one-on-ones, which is obviously tough for DBs. And then in 11-on-11 team period, the defensive line once again showed off. Dominique Robinson, really dominant day overall, had a sack, blew up a couple of runs. So love hearing it from the young edge rusher that's so damn talented. He really is. And then Andrew Billings and Justin Jones. The interior looks really strong for the Chicago Bears. They had a couple of good practices now in a row, and they just continue to terrorize interior offensive linemen of the Bears right now. Obviously, there's injury issues there, right? So it's getting a bit easier for them. But still, you have to dominate, and they do it right now at practice. And so does Jervin Dexter Sr. He's constantly making plays, showing off his big power. And then also for the D-line UDFA, D'Anthony Jones was mentioned with a sack against Larry Borum and another pressure later. So he's really looking pretty good so far throughout camp, making a couple of plays. And that's why he also is, I think, in the third tier for the defense or third string on the unofficial depth chart. So love it for him. And then for the linebackers, a lot of good plays today. Noah Sewell continues to make plays, scooped up a fumble, but it was called back. But for me, it's just good seeing the hustle and being always on the ball. Fits the mentality of Matt Eberflus, and he's looking real sharp so far. Can't wait to see him in preseason, what he's going to do. And then also TJ Edwards was named. He blew up a screenplay in team period, was very much evident on tape too when you watch him on the Eagles. But yeah, does it here on the Bears too, so love to hear that. And then also UDFA, Micah Baskerville from LSU with 2 interceptions today. So a couple of UDFAs making some big plays today. Love hearing that. And then for the DBs, lastly, I only have something about Tyreek Stevenson. He had a real solid practice overall, being in the right spots, made some good plays, and it seems like the corner's taking on form, so love hearing that about Tyreek Stevenson. And for the practice overall, really competitive. Offense did some real good stuff. Justin Fields fouled a couple of receivers deep down the field a few times today, so love hearing that from Justin Fields. And he had a really good mix between check down, intermediate, and deep shots today, so that's really good hearing it from him. Obviously, there's a couple of mistakes that need to get better on offense, like a couple of false starts, but they will get better at that. And then for the defense, they had a real solid day too, even though they have that many injuries at this point in time. And with that being said, that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think of day 12 of the Bears training camp in 2023. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram and Twitter if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.